welcome back to the Women Unleashed podcast. It's Britt and Taylor. We are your awesome co-hosts.
Mhm.
And today we are Sans special guests, which for anyone who doesn't know, Sans means without. And that's okay because we're awesome and we're looking forward to having a good chat tonight.
Yeah.
Taylor, I've been listening to a few podcasts lately. So
Yep.
I've been like listening to people's intros and outros and I'm like, oh, I could take that. I could do this. Like all inspired.
Great. Love the research. Love the commitment to the
Mhm.
research.
Definitely. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Good. I'm nervous about tonight's conversation. Don't really know where we're going to go with it. I mean, we've been grappling with it for a few weeks between us, but so we thought it was really important that we should share it with our listeners. Hey.
Yes, definitely. So tonight we're going to talk about entitlement, being entitled, and just how entitled I have been being and Taylor has been being.
Yeah, without even frigging knowing we were being entitled. Without even knowing. It's like been the biggest blind spot and probably one of the biggest things that I do. If that it's so in my
like
face.
it's everywhere.
Yeah, it shows up. That's a better way of putting it. It shows up everywhere, and it's been such a blind spot, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same. I was shocked, like pleasant, like equally horrifiedly shocked and pleasantly shocked at how entitled I have been being and living my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like a bit freer knowing that that's where, like, seeing it for what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like going, hey, there's entitlement, there's entitlement, there's entitlement. Like, damn, I don't have to be this way about that. You don't have to be like so righteous about things because that's really, comes into being entitled, I guess.
Like one of the indicators for you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe we should like define it and then maybe like talk about some examples or something. I mean, we've gone off the cuff here. I think that's the best way we do these ones.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's entitlement to you, Britt? What's it like show up? Well, like what would, I guess, as a listener, what would you, because there is out there in society, people are like, oh, he's such an entitled prick or she's such an entitled asshole, which is there. But I think it's so much deeper than what maybe like people have seen it as.
Yeah, possibly. And I think it's different for everyone. Like I've been surprised by the like it's everywhere in my life, and so I've been surprised at the vast breadth of ways in which it showed up. So let's like I'll attempt to define it for myself. Is a context that I have or an opinion that I have that somebody or some situation or even myself, I'm just thinking as I go along, owes me something or should be a particular way because I have a thought that it should be a particular way or a view that it should be a particular way. How would you define it, Taylor?
Yeah, I think like thinking you're owed something by someone or something, basically because you're a human being or because of what you've done. You think like you're entitled to a certain outcome, which is not the case.
Yeah, cool.
They're being owed something. I think is probably like the most simple way, maybe. to put it?
Yeah. So the first thing that I want to share that comes to mind, and I'll put it in the way that you said it, is one of the ways that I'm entitled is I think I'm owed a particular kind of behavior by my bonus children. Like they should behave a particular way, or I shouldn't have to deal with this kind of behavior. That was one of the most shocking ways that I saw that I was being entitled. Like I was entitled to children that just behaved exactly the way that I wanted them to behave.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And I would say you're not the only one, Britt.
Yeah, definitely not. But I was just like, whoa, like yuck. Like I would not want to hang out with me as a bonus mum while I'm being that way. Like that's gross. That's disgusting. Like ick. Yuck. Not from a maker. I'm just like, oh, gross. Like, and so now I constantly like catch myself. Yeah, like it's that gross for me now that I see it. Like how yuck to be around someone that just expects you to behave a particular way because they exist.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Like yuck. So self-centered.
Or just because you're their parent or sibling or
Yeah.
I agree. And I probably, I do that with my daughter. Some days I really struggle because I'm like, just do what I want. That's just not how it is,
Yeah. Like even if I've asked you to do something, I'm not entitled to you doing it the way I asked you to do it, or when I asked you to do it, or how I asked you to do it.
No.
So yeah, I think that's what a lot of people, parents can relate to for sure.
Definitely. And I think you can flip it on its head as a child, something like I've realized like you're not entitled to great parents or good parents or anything. You're entitled for them being a certain way to you as the child.
Yes, that's another big way that I was being entitled.
Yeah,
and
me
you
too.
By the sounds of it. Like I was I was entitled to great parents and I didn't get them. Only inside my own head and view of my parents. And I love my parents, by the way. But I think every kid sets the bar bloody high for their parents because I think they're superheroes and should be perfect.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, I want to preface that as well and just be like, we're not saying it's okay for terrible behavior either. We're not advocating for like it's okay to do terrible things. But
no.
At the and at the same time, we're not entitled to shit just because we're a human being and we're born, or we're a parent or a sibling or anybody or a partner.
Yeah. Yep. Just because we exist does not mean we are owed anything.
Yeah, which is really a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
I know.
It kind of sucks. Yeah. Sucks.
Yep. I've been living my life because I exist, that I'm owed a good life. I'm owed money, lots of money. It's a really constraining way to live my life. And my physical experience in my body of it is just stuck. There's nothing possible at all when I'm being entitled.
Yeah, and there's nothing on you. We don't take responsibility for ourselves if we're entitled, do we? Because it's like, oh, well, that shouldn't have happened because I didn't deserve it, or I didn't, I'm owed that. So, and if I didn't get it, then it has nothing to do with me, kind of thing. You kind of take yourself off the hook being entitled.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Or do you think I'm off there?
Yeah. I'm just looking at it.
Like a lack of responsibility on yourself.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. There's no, void of any responsibility because you've got this opinion that it should be a particular way.
Yeah.
Rather than making it or causing it to be the way that you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And blaming, you know, make wrong and blaming. And and I think like it keeps you sitting in like, sorry, these things are coming to me as we're speaking. This is like real good. I'm liking that we're doing this. It keeps you in like victim mentality. Hey.
Yeah.
Big time. Big fucking time. That's just like, I just really got that, how much it keeps you like, poor me, and that shouldn't have happened to me, and I deserve better, and I'm, yeah. And as much as I think this is something like I'm grappling with, which we spoke about earlier today, you know, being deserving of something. And being entitled is different. Which is probably something we should distinguish.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm thinking. Just thinking as I go along.
Yeah. Okay. Just thought I'd check in because this is like, you know, we're both just looking. We're looking as we're talking. But yeah, the deserving thing kind of gets me messed up sometimes because we're not entitled to anything, yet we can be deserving of things. Like we were talking about, like if you're a really great partner, like you and Nathan, you and Nathan are really great partners and you're really in love and you both bring to the table, you know, what you both want from each other or agreed to upon each other. And now you're engaged and you deserve to be engaged because of the great relationship you've built and the great people you are to each other. So,
yes,
you know, you deserve that, but you're not entitled to it. You're not entitled to it just because you're partners. You know, you're going to bring something to the table.
And we've been dating for a certain period of time. Like just because I exist in a relationship over time doesn't mean that I deserve to be engaged. That's actually thinking you're entitled to be engaged. Yeah.
Yep. Which I kind of collapse the two, the deserving and the entitled. So I'm like, hey, I'm a good person. Like I deserve, you know.
And you know, like it's you can deserve something in a moment, but to deserve it over time, you've got to keep taking the actions consistent with that which you deserve or deserved
yeah,
it.
you gotta yeah, you gotta work at it. And that's how you like entitlement is basically not putting in any work and just expecting it. Where deserving is, you know, you put the work in. You put the time in. And you don't just go, oh, I've got the ring now, so now all of that's gonna just stop.
Yeah, correct. You know? And when you say put the work in, it also doesn't mean, oh, well, I pay the bills, so I'm entitled to be a dickhead partner. No. Like just because you pay for shit doesn't mean you're entitled to treat your partner like shit and then deserve them to love you.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that. It's really not that. All right, so Taylor, give me an example. Is that you yawning?
I think I did, yeah. I didn't even notice.
Is that a confronted yawn?
Yeah, this whole fucking thing, all these conversations we have are constantly confronting. I don't even know why I do this anymore. No, I'm joking.
That's awesome. Okay, so give me an example of one of the ways you noticed that you were being entitled.
There's so many. There's so many that there's been.
It's all right. We got a while, you know.
Yeah, it's like real yucky, hey. Well, the one way was like my things that happened in my childhood. I thought I was entitled to something different.
Okay,
And
that's like
entitled.
if you don't want to mention it, if you don't want to go like into the
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe
clear
I'll move on
detail,
from that.
don't go there.
Yeah,
Go to like
okay.
a more recent one or something.
I won't talk about parenting because that's one you shared. Oh,
You can share that.
I guess a small, like not a small example, but a short one would just be that, yeah, like same with my daughter, she's a toddler. I expect her to, well, I want her to be a certain way. And sometimes when she's been a toddler, it's really challenging. And I feel like I'm entitled to like a break or entitled to her to not be a certain way when she's full on. And that's just not how it is,
So
So
you think
there's
you're
that.
entitled to good behavior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even probably, with Will, like he's a really great partner, and there's probably a bit there for me that's entitled to the fact that he should be a great partner because, like, you should be a great partner. Like there's like, I don't know, and like I bring stuff to the table too, so and if you want to be a parent, like you got to step up, and same with being a partner, like you kind of should do those things, and that's just not how it is.
Yeah, because
just,
if you're being entitled, like to everyone else, they're like, oh, well, yeah, you should be a good dad and a good this and a good that. Like, if every moment of our lives is a choice about how we live it, and it's as easy to be a dickhead as it is to choose to be awesome, like, if you're expecting greatness or entitled to greatness, like someone acting great or being a great dad, I don't think you see, then you don't acknowledge or appreciate how great a dad they are. You just expect it. It's like more. Like it won't ever be enough, or that's the bar. Like it just voids you of being able to acknowledge how they do contribute to your life and how they make it that much more joyful, and
you can't be
how
present to who
grateful
they
you
really
are.
are. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't be present to who you really are because you think that you're owed something by them.
You're owed it, the greatness.
Yeah, you're owed
You
it.
owed them.
Yeah, and that's just not how it is. So, yeah, it's been a big deal. It's been actually really powerful distinction, sorry, is what I meant to say. In general, and there's little things that come up all the time. I just can't think like daily things that will come up and I'm like, you don't get that. That's not how it works, Taylor. Just get that. Like customers at work, like I might do some work for them, doesn't mean they are going to be my client. I'm not entitled to them being my client. Be great if they are, but just because I do work for them doesn't mean that they're going to fall through. And I'm not entitled to them to go through with me just because I did some work for them.
Yep.
Yeah, it shows
I
up
got
all the
one
time. Yeah, sure.
about money, and this was like, this is something that I have noticed that I've been a big weirdo about like my whole life, and not being able to distinguish what was going on, and it's entitlement to money. So the situation that showed up was I caught up with someone, arranged a coffee, and they were like, yeah, I'll pay for your coffee, it'd be great to catch up. I was like, okay, thanks. And then they said, oh, they do great breakfast there too. I'll pay for your breakfast. And I was like, oh, you don't need to do that. Like, I appreciate the offer though. Anyway, we got to the cafe, and I said what I was going to order, and then they went up and ordered and paid for the coffee and the breakfast. Anyway, I was chatting to this person, and we were having a great conversation about all the ways in which we earn our money. And I was present to, this person earns way more money than I do. So, yeah, of course they can pay for my breakfast. But hang on, that's not what I said I was going to do. But I'm like, oh, yeah, well, they're rich. So, I'm entitled to some of that because you got more than I do. And that's the entitlement. And as soon as I picked that up during the catch up, I was already prepared with like a $20 note in my pocket before I went to the catch up. And as we were saying our goodbyes, I just put it in their pocket and said, that's for breakfast. Thanks very much. And it was great. I could be free to go, I don't need to be entitled anymore. There's my money. Thanks. It was really great to be with you and to see you and catch up. So I was really proud of myself for seeing that in the interaction and then acting on it, because previously I would have just not distinguished it, been a big weirdo about it, felt all and then kept my money and then, I'll get you back next time, but then would never keep tabs on that. So I think a lot of people could relate to that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I love this, outing myself lots.
Yeah, it's so fun. No, it's good. This helps us grow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I'm entitled to my horse. Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, no, you go. No, that's cool.
I was going to say, I think I'm entitled to my horse to behave and perform a particular way, which voids me of any responsibility for my horsewomanship and how I ride and etc. So there you go. What were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, for our listeners to take a look, because it's I don't know. I guess for us it's big, and it's really freeing to see it and to drop it. I don't know. It's been quite eye opening for me anyway. And I like it.
Awesome.
I like it, even though it doesn't always make me feel great about myself. But it it's
only when you see how you've been being entitled. Initially. Is that right? And then you're like, okay, this is cool now.
Yeah. The yuckiness of it at the start. I'm like, God damn, why? Jesus. Jesus. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been worth it, distinguishing it and looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. We've got a bit quiet, haven't we? I think we're just sitting with it.
I think you told me you thought you were entitled to your parents' love, and for that to look a particular way, and entitled for Will to love you. Yeah, it's a real poison pill, that entitlement, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it just gets you off the hook for being a good human being too. Or a great partner, or a great child, or whatever, whatever you are to someone.
Yeah, because never have I, well, so far, I haven't caught myself having, being entitled of myself. I haven't gone, Britt, I'm entitled to you behaving way better than you're behaving to yourself at the moment. I've never gone, I've never done that. I don't think I ever will. I've never, been entitled about how I behave towards myself. I only catch myself going, yeah, that's probably not the kindest thing you could do to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't work on us. Unfortunately, maybe we'd be like really, really awesome humans if we didn't.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to say? I mean, I think maybe we might come back to it. Maybe like the next episode we can talk about it a bit more when we've had some, like reflect again.
Yeah, no worries. I think I've said like I could talk for a while about it, but just because I find it so freeing and like fascinating. Maybe the last thing I'll say is, as part of this discovery, is like nobody owes me anything. Like the world doesn't owe me anything. You, Taylor, don't owe me anything. Like even our listeners, have been being entitled about, people should listen to my podcast because I produce it. Like nobody owes you anything. And like the sky doesn't owe it to you to be blue. The person driving on the road doesn't owe it to you to like let you in when you're merging. Do that one all the time. I even catch myself being like the dickhead not letting people in. Like, Britt,
you don't deserve to get in.
Give it up, give it up, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can do it, Britt. Yeah, it comes up heaps, just in little things all the time.
Yeah. I think I also, I definitely do this one. I'm going to share it. It's like I'm entitled about how Nathan should speak to me when he is telling me something that, I've done that doesn't work for him. I get so entitled about how he should communicate that and whether he should communicate it or not. Because I'm like, I'd rather not know. I'm entitled to not know and continue to be a shithead.
Fuck, you're funny. Continue to be a shithead. I like your little voices that you're doing. It's really great. Really great.
Yeah. Because that's how it is. Like, that's how snooty and like entitled I am. Like,
yeah. You're so posh.
Oh yeah, it's darling.
But that's true. Hey, when you're like talking to someone and they talk to you a certain way or say something, you're like, oh, they shouldn't talk to me like that. They shouldn't say that to me. Yeah, that's just being entitled.
Yeah. Oh, and I was thinking about this the other day, that the world would be the world is an amazing place and people choose to do horrible things. And I think if people behaved towards themselves and towards other people the way that they perceive that they're entitled to be treated, then people would just love being around each other and, we'd have a really great time together. And just, I think there would be a lot more like joy and love and connection amongst people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just kind of turns it on its head, if you want to use that entitlement, if you want to like keep it around, well, okay, be that way towards yourself and how you treat other people if you're going to expect people to treat you that way.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think too, something you said, we talked about like boundaries as well. And they're, having boundaries, it doesn't mean like your partner can talk to you like shit and you can just take it on the chin because you're not entitled to it, a different way. It doesn't mean you can't set a boundary or put something in place and have an agreement with your partner on how you speak to each other or whatever it is that the issue is. Because I think that's important too, is to, we're not...
Yes.
I think because we're grappling with it, I don't want you know, and others may grapple with it too, is I don't want people to think we're not saying you just like let people do what the fuck they want to you and you just like you're not entitled to any other way. So, you know, like you just take it.
Correct. It's how you be about however they treat you. And so if you be to someone's bad behavior towards you, okay, well, mate, that just doesn't work for me to be treated that way. Like, that's it. Like, you can go behave that way. You're welcome to. It just doesn't work for me. And I don't want to be around it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that is a way more powerful place to, you know, establish and maintain a boundary than, oh, I can't believe he spoke to me like that. That is so awful. It's like a projection of your entitlement versus, okay, man, like, have fun with that, but I'm not, like, I don't have people treat me like that in my life. It's just not what I'm up to. So go do that somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was really, I just think it was good to distinguish. It's like taking the significance and the drama out of it, but still looking at like what works, what's workable in your life and what's not workable.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. And so I think this inquiry and discovery of entitlement is for both you and I, because we have this, we do this, is that it will enable us to establish and maintain boundaries that we previously have not been there because we've been entitled.
Yeah, because we don't set boundaries because we think it shouldn't be a certain way. So rather than saying anything, we just think it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, and get all make wrong and uptight and weird about it rather than free to go, all right, no worries, man. Like, you do that over there because it's not happening here.
Yeah. Man, this is like so cool. I don't know. I just feel like it frees you up. Like it frees you up knowing no one owes you anything. I don't know. It makes me free. Because it nearly feels like there's pressure. Right? It nearly feels like there's pressure as well if you think someone owes you something.
Yes, because it has no integrity to have that view that somebody owes you something, that you're entitled to it. Isn't it weird, or isn't it like opposite, that you know, like, I've lived my life thinking that people being a particular way with me getting things in life that I think I'm owed, material things, is going to make me happy. However, what you just said is like being for yourself that the world owes you nothing and that people owe you nothing is like so awesome. It's like the thing you've been after, not all the other things that you think you're entitled to.
Yeah. It just, I feel like, well, it takes the pressure off everyone else around you, right? Because you're not entitled to them. But then it takes it off yourself too. Because I don't know, feeling like you're owed something all the time is tiring.
Yeah. For me,
like
it
you've
feels
got
like
everyone
on
this list. You've got like a shit list. Like, my partner owes me this and my kid owes me this. You know, like a fucking Santa checklist. Who's on the naughty list and who's on the nice list all the time. You know, like just taking all that away. It's just, I don't know. Does that make sense, or am I just going off here a bit on a weird tangent? I get it. But yeah, I don't know. It takes the pressure off me and it takes the pressure off them.
I think you've also, what consumes your, I'm going to call it CPU, computing capacity, is having to remember all the entitlements that you created for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, all the rules.
Whereas, all the rules. Whereas if you didn't have to remember those things because nobody or no thing owed you anything, it's just like, I
I guess maybe you can even say it's like living in the moment a bit more. Because like the interaction right now is what we need to focus on, not like who you are. Like not who, that's not the right word. It's not who they are, because obviously they're your partner, or let's talk about partners. Let's just break that down. But like focus, it's not about like what happened before or what's going to happen. It's about what right now. It's not about what's going. I don't know if that makes
being
sense.
Present. Yeah, being in the moment. Not listening to them through your filter of what happened yesterday or what you think they're going to say. It's going, okay, what's actually coming out of their mouth right now?
Yeah. Because you kind of like hold stuff against, you might hold onto things and be like entitled about that. So you're not really present into like what you're focusing on in that moment, you know?
Yes. And one that I heard recently was like, and I'm sure lots of partners do this, in particular maybe the female variety, is like, oh, he didn't get me a birthday present. Or not the thing that I wanted. And now I'm going to listen to him like he doesn't get me what I want for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Really? Can a man even operate in that environment?
No, I don't think anyone can. We're just holding stuff over their head all the time, aren't you? And it's like, and it's always going to be out of reach when you're in this entitled state, because it can never be fulfilled, because they'll do it, they'll fix it, or they'll like, you'll come to an agreement on it, and then but it won't be enough because you're entitled to more or whatever you think it is. So you're always like, the goalposts are constantly moving in this entitlement.
Is a bottomless
pit.
pit.
Oh my goodness. This is great.
Yeah. It will never be filled.
No. That's why it's so fucked. It's so unhelpful. It's such an unhelpful way of being. And it keeps you disconnected from people. Keeps you from being vulnerable, I think, with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does.
State of peacefulness.
I just feel like I was like, oh, I don't have anything else to say. And then we keep talking. I'm like, damn, there's so much here. There's so much to it, you know? It's not a very nice way to live, actually.
No.
It's taken me like 30 years to realize it. Maybe I'll give myself like 5 years off because I was a kid. 25.
Yeah, the first 5 years.
We'll give myself a 5-year break. Oh no, I'm not entitled to that, because just because I'm a kid, I wasn't entitled to that. So let's go 30.
No. Like from a physiological perspective, your brain development wasn't even developed enough to be aware of, to be entitled to something.
No, but it's been going. It's a long time. Let's just say that. It's a long ass time.
Yeah, because early on, you, like, even before you're 5, you'll have the experience of like a lack of love, lack of connection, and that over time is what then develops or can morph into, well, I'm entitled to my parents' love, or etc. So it might have the same physical experience, but the I don't know even how to language it. Like, it turns from a sadness of missing that to a entitlement to that.
It's really like anger.
Yeah. And anger is usually, an emotion that comes after, or to avoid being sad. Yeah. In some situations. So, yeah. Wow.
Got it.
Anything else you want to say, Taylor?
No. I feel good now. Yeah, that was good. Thanks.
Great. Awesome.
What about you? Anything?
No, that's it. You're free to wrap it on up.
Well, man, that was a big topic. So I hope you guys stuck around. And if not,
yeah, without being entitled to you sticking around for that.
Now I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna watch everything I say.
Oh, hang on. No. I just gotta say, I'm not entitled to you liking the podcast. I'm not entitled to you sharing the podcast. I'm not entitled to you listening or reviewing or any of that. And I'd really love you to do that. It'd be awesome. Really It'd make my day.
Yeah, we would really love you too. And we really hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you stuck along for the journey, because I think from the start to the end of this, you could see that we were working through it ourselves. We always would love to have feedback and hear from you, and know if you've noticed entitlement or anything else we've spoken about in the last few episodes. The last few episodes with Michael Brook about hypnosis and couples counseling were freaking awesome. So check those out if you haven't already. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.